Oh, hey, welcome back, man. Let's welcome back, man. We in locker room talk with Jitim Young. I'm your boy, Jitim Young, Mr. Wildcat, Mr. Northwestern, Mr. Big Ten. And in the locker room, somebody, hey, he's ran the locker room, he's won in the locker room, and big bro right here, Purdue Boilermaker great. We got Willie Deane joining us in the locker room. Man, one of the greatest players and one of the greatest guys, man, to ever play in the Big Ten. Man, I had a lot of battles with this brother right here, man. Hey, boy, you made me work on my game in the summer because I knew I had to see you with them braids going to the back.
Oh man, yo, you weren't any slouch either, man. I know the Chicago style of play, man, is rough and gritty, and they coming at you. So every time, we had to strap them up to play against you, bro. Like I already knew I had to be on my A game because I already know how you were playing.
Man, you had that crossover step back jumper. I'm like, man, this dude, he could make a shot from any angle, boy. You was doing Steph Curry shots before Steph was even out.
Oh man, yeah. Well, that was one thing that I always worked on was if I was ever in a situation where I had to create my own shot,
Yeah.
end of the shot clock situations or things like that, I just incorporated that into my game. Every summer, I would just try to incorporate something new. I didn't always get to use the things that I worked on in the summertime with the system that I was in, but it didn't stop me from adding different elements to my game every summer.
Now I know, like in Chicago, when we was getting ready for the season, obviously I was lifting weights at Northwestern and everything, but I was going down to Tim Grover gym and I was playing against Antoine and
Yeah. Yep.
Crawford and all those. What were you going to kind of get yourself ready for the season when you was in college and then when you was playing?
Okay, so I did a lot of individual skill work, but
Okay.
when I did so there was I would take some time out in the summertime and just work on a certain element, adding a certain element to my game,
Right.
and then I would just test it out in like the pro-ams. So
Okay.
I live in upstate New York, so other than the college campuses, it's tough to get that pro competitive run. So
Right.
I
Right.
used to have to drive down to New York City, which was like a two
Uh,
hour 2 hour drive. And
okay.
my man Dean, he put me on his squad in the Nike Pro Am down in the city.
Right.
It was me, Junie, my man DP. So we had a nice squad. I was on Nike One, and
Uh,
so that was the stage where I would test like you know the things that I was working on against the professionals. Like Ron Artest was there.
yeah. Yeah.
Omar Cook, like Smush
Right.
Parker, all the
Hmm.
all of those dudes.
Yeah.
Strickland. Like so, it was like that's where you tested it to see if what you were working on is any good.
How did the Big Ten get you? Because usually, like, what I mean? I've seen some, Zach Williams. He was at Ohio State, but how did
Right.
you choose the Big Ten over like the Big East and those conferences over there?
Well, I just landed there. Just it was just accidentally, man. So originally, like my freshman year, I went to Boston College, and
Hmm.
they didn't take well to my braids, so they weren't feeling it because if you look back, I was the first D1 basketball player to have cornrows. Like AI didn't have that. Rip
Right.
Hamilton and those guys didn't get that until later.
Yeah.
So nobody else playing televised games at the time when I was coming out was playing on TV with braids.
With
So
them braids to the back. Yeah.
right, so it was something. I don't know if it was coming down from the school. I don't know if it was coming down from the head coach. I really don't know where it was coming from, but
Right.
You know, this was something that we had discussions before I even signed to go there. And you know, just to be honest, they just lied to get me there. And then
Yeah.
once I was there, they was on some whole different stuff. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you know,
Yeah,
because I think they're a Jesuit school, so they
right,
want to follow that Jesuit look and all that.
right. But I had been attending a Catholic school since kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So and then
Yeah,
I mean, if you want to get into the biblical scriptures and stuff too, then you also know that's wrong. You know,
exactly. Yeah,
judge somebody by the content of the character, not their hair.
yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
and
And then because
it's not like it was unkept. Always made sure that it was
yeah,
neat and
always
right.
perfect.
So it wasn't that. It was just they weren't at that time. They weren't
Yeah,
ready for that. They weren't
right.
ready.
Because it was you, and then D Brown when he came, he had that with the headband on and everything,
Right. Right.
and y'all the first two that I remember because that's every time I walked into the arena and I saw Purdue and I saw them brace in the back. I was like, well, I had a good night's sleep. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Because boy, you man, every night a bucket. You know, Big Ten leading score and everything, man. You
Yeah.
definitely like made me a better player. So, you know, we
Nah,
fast forward
you
to
tuned
today
in.
and we seeing your boy Ivy is what you think about his game. I say he the next Paul George. What you think? Because he top, what, three,
Yeah,
supposedly.
yeah.
What do you think about him?
Now I think he's a real versatile player, man. Like you know, um, big skill set. Like I think he'll adapt to the pro game, you know, immediately. You know, he'll have to get adjusted to the style of play, and I don't know what system he's going to go to, but you know, hopefully he gets into a system that complements his game, and you know, he's able to shine on the big stage, like I know he's capable of doing.
I mean, I think Houston, we know Orlando got the first pick, so they talking about they taking the boy from Gonzaga. I,
Right,
I don't know. I mean, maybe you know something about him. I don't see it right now. I like the boy from Duke, and then I like Ivy. I
right,
think either one of them two should go number one. But
right,
they talking about the boy from Gonzaga supposed to be the next KD or whatever. So I don't know.
right. Well, you know, that's one thing that I don't really understand about the NBA sometimes, and it's like they're always looking for the next somebody instead of just you know taking a player for who they are and
Right.
maximizing their potential. Like they always try to label somebody the next this guy, the next this guy,
Yeah.
and sometimes I feel like that's unfair to
Hmm.
that player to put that on. Like Kwame Brown, for example, they were saying like he's
Hmm.
the next KG. It's like
Right.
you know he's a young kid. You know, different upbringing. You know, Kwame was a tough player, but they never really gave him a chance. I feel like it's like you know even before he got into the NBA, it was like they were just on a mission to like just tear him down.
Right.
You
Yeah.
know,
I
they
mean, that's what make LeBron so special because everything they threw at him and tried to tear down, he lapped it 1,000 times
right.
and beyond surpassed that.
Right, right. You know, I have nothing to say bad about LeBron, man. He's he's one of my favorite players, you know, on and off the court because
Right.
he's one of those dudes that you know he's real family oriented,
Yeah, he
and
is.
then also he he um he stands up for what he believes in. You know, whether right or wrong, he's not holding his tongue to speak on political issues. He's not holding his tongue to speak on issues outside of basketball to where you know
Yeah.
most people are afraid to speak on those issues because they're fear of losing their job
True.
or the sponsors losing a sponsorship and that's one thing you know I give LeBron a tremendous amount of respect for man if he feels like he's speaking on the right issue you know there's no right time for him to speak on it you know the time is current when it happens and
Yeah, I mean,
he's not afraid.
he opened up the NBA where he told players, "You are the business. You are business. You are priority. It's about you, not these owners." And the autonomy that the players got. LeBron shattered that, and now these players are entities now in the league, and it's a beautiful thing to watch. And
Yeah,
and you being from upstate New York, now your boy uh, Darvin Ham played at
hmm
Syracuse. He about to be LeBron coach. What,
yeah.
what what you feel about that? Is that like a big thing in New York?
Yo, you know what? I'm interested to see what Coach Ham has in store for the Lakers, man. He's been behind the scenes for a while
Yeah,
on people's benches. I had a chance to watch him when he was playing for the Bucks and stuff. Like when I
right.
was out in the Midwest. So I always liked his game. He was explosive and he had an IQ as a wing player. And so I'm really interested to see what his X's and O's are looking like, and see what kind of chemistry he has and synergy he has with LeBron and the players that they have on their roster. I'm not sure if that roster is going to stay the same.
Yeah,
There's a
we
lot of
always.
talk, on players leaving and
Yeah,
trades and
true.
stuff. So I'm not surprised if the whole roster shakes up. But I'm definitely interested to see what Coach Ham has in store for the Lakers and how he adjusts throughout the course of the season.
Yeah, and I know Juwan Howard turned the job down, and with Juwan, he went through a lot during the season. A couple things kind of pissed me
Right,
off, not on his part, but on the way it was handled with him versus the way it wasn't during the Big Ten season with the coach from Maryland calling
right,
him boy, and then the coach from Wisconsin grabbing him, trying
right,
to force him to shake his hand. When you saw those two things, and then they made Juwan out like he was the problem.
right,
Uh, our conference, I think we do a good job of really trying to be the first to show the rest of the conferences how we feel things should be handled. But I think we missed the beat on it. I know we got a black commission in the Big Ten now, but I
right.
think the commission missed the beat on this one. What did you feel about that whole situation during the Big Ten season with Jawan Howard?
It was really unfortunate that what. Now I don't. I'm not saying he was right, not shaking the gentleman's hand, but the last thing the
Right,
gentleman should have done was put his hands on another
right,
man. You're crossing those lines now.
yeah,
It's too aggressive. Invading somebody's space like that. Maybe Coach Howard was wrong or was displaying poor sportsmanship
right.
by not shaking his hand. And that's very well may be, but still you don't put your hands on another man because you can't force another man to do anything. You know.
Yeah, yeah. I thought that was some privileged type of action. Obviously, we seen it with Nick Saban getting mad because Deion
Right.
Sanders getting all these players. I'm happy about the NIL. NIL.
Right.
I wish he was around when we was there. But you see a lot of that privileged behavior, like, oh, well, you better. You know what I mean? And they doing it, not knowing that that's what they doing. But I just
Right.
think it was. I'm not saying Jawan shouldn't have got fined, but for Jawan to get fined 50,000 or whatever it was, and then Wisconsin coach to only get fined 10, and then Wisconsin went on Twitter to say, "Oh, we gonna pay the fine. The coach ain't gonna pay nothing," and kind of boast about the
Right.
situation. I lost a lot of respect for Wisconsin for that.
Yeah. I don't agree with the way they handled the situation either.
Yeah,
They could have handled that with a lot more class.
for sure.
Especially on both sides.
Hmm.
Um, unfortunately, we've always are looked at under a different microscope,
That's a fact.
and we have to find a way to maneuver in those situations so
Yeah.
that we don't have to come up on the short end of the stick.
Well,
So.
yeah, man. I see the bucket hat is on fleek, man. That thing catches my attention. I'm like, man, if I put that on, I could match with what I got on and everything. Man, tell me about the new things you involved in. I saw you with Pat Riley. in the
Right.
playoffs in Miami, man. You doing big things, man. Just let the world know, man, what's going on with one of our favorite players. What are you doing now?
Oh man, yeah, well, I have to take my hat off to Coach Riley. He invited me down to a playoff game. He's from Schenectady. I'm from Schenectady, and
Right.
so our relationship goes way back. And back to even like he going to school at the same time like my family members were in school. So I have a very close relationship with Coach Riley, and hopefully it just continues to become closer and grow our relationship. But aside from that, during the days, I work as an electrician. I'm in the local 236
Hmm.
here in upstate New York, and then wife, 3 kids, and then I'm just heavy into the community.
Right.
I started my nonprofit, Life Enrichment,
Right.
and so I'm opening a STEM and reading tutoring facility here for
Wow.
elementary kids in New York. So in high risk areas. So to
Yeah.
get them exposed to the STEM curriculum at an earlier age
Right.
than um than later. The earlier the
Right.
better.
Yeah,
So
that's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. And then, when you have recess and you see one of them little kids with some potential doing a step back jumper, and you like, Shorty, I'm gonna train you. Let me
right.
let me get you let me get you to where I was at. And I know that that'll be golden if you can catch one of them boys.
Yeah, that's always going to be a part of us. And
Yeah.
there's so many basketball programs in the area and in neighboring states and stuff. I just try to take an approach from a different angle because all of us are not going to be fortunate enough to make it to that next level, but
Right.
all
True.
of us have the ability to learn and educate ourselves. So
Yeah.
if I can help a couple people get there athletically, that's cool. But my primary focus at the moment is the academic situation here because it's at a very poor state, and
Yeah.
these kids are suffering from lack of resources and stuff. So I'm trying to help as many kids as I can. It's not something that I'll be able to change overnight, or I won't be able to help like hundreds of kids, but
Yeah.
if I could just lock in and save 10 kids and
Right.
get them, to the next level academically, who would have flunked out of middle school, then I feel like that's more than worth it.
Yeah, I mean, you saving lives, and that's something that I'm passionate about. Here,
Right.
Chicago, I'm on the west side of Chicago every day, and I'm, mentorship, just
Right.
creating opportunities and programs. So these, the kids, like you say, that you come across, that
Right.
they do feel hope, they do feel inspired and motivated. What you're
Yeah.
doing is necessary because, you know, you get you 100 kids. That's 100 kids that got a chance that might have, if they never came across you, if they never experienced, your love and your inspiration. That's 100 kids that may have gone down the wrong path.
Right.
So man, you definitely changing the world, and you doing, we just got you talking about LeBron. You're doing
Right.
exactly what LeBron doing in Akron, in your hometown, similar to again like what I do every day. So man, that's a beautiful thing, and it makes sense because I remember when we used to play against each other, we used to battle, and then at the end of the game, you used to always give me encouraging, positive words, and
Right.
even in competition, and it just, fast forward to today, you doing the same thing, encouraging and building and uplifting, the people that come into your life, and that just says a lot about you.
Yeah, man. I appreciate your kind words, but I've always been the person who basketball is basketball, but it's bigger than that. It's about
Yeah, for
relationships
sure.
and and how you continue to grow those relationships outside of the court.
Yeah,
Because we can't play forever, but we can have a friendship forever, and
facts.
that'll be more beneficial than the small period of time that we're fortunate enough to stay healthy and play the game.
Yeah. We got the NBA Finals, man. What
Yeah.
what what's the prediction and why you
Oh
predicting
man.
that?
Um, Boston is tough. Boston is tough. But I just I'm giving the edge to Steph Curry in Golden
Yeah,
State. Um, I feel like Draymond would probably be the X factor in that one because Steph and Clay they're gonna do their thing long as they stay healthy. And they're two of the best shooters in the league on the
yeah,
same team. Don't get me wrong. I love Tatum's game though. I
yeah,
love Tatum's game. He's he's Kobe's understudy.
for sure.
He's Kobe's understudy, and he's really coming to his own. He's coming to his
Yeah,
own. I like Jaylen Brown. He's stepped up his game a lot. He
yeah.
was over there with my guy Coach Conzo
Right,
at
right.
Purdue, so there's players that I love on both sides, and I want nothing but the best for them. But I just feel like um, you know, Golden State's experience is
Yeah,
what's going to get them over the hump. They've been there time and time again. Steph Curry, those guys have always performed, on the big stage, and they're hungry. They're hungry to show the world that they can do it because they
yeah.
haven't been there
Two
since
years
KD
ago.
was with them.
Yeah,
They're trying to prove again that they didn't need KD to to get there. But
yeah,
if Boston were able to upset them, I definitely wouldn't be mad because like I said, Tatum is a hell of a player, and
yeah,
I've always supported Brown since he went to Missouri with Coach Conzo, who was
yeah.
at Purdue with me. So,
Right. Nah, I
but
mean, I
yeah,
agree with you. I agree with everything you said. I think, I'm excited, but I kind of look at the series same way I looked at Memphis series.
right,
I'm like, Boston is they finna fight Milwaukee to get to this point every year. I don't
right,
see a team in the East that's gonna, because obviously Middleton was out this year because of injury.
right,
But Boston and Milwaukee, as long as Giannis and Milton are, is gonna battle out. Tatum gonna get him a ring. It's just unfortunately he playing against a hungry team and a team that's just they at the door, but they ain't ready to come in yet. Whereas Draymond, Clay, Kerr, Steph, now you got Wiggins coming in, you got Poole doing this thing.
right.
Looney has elevated. Looney trying to get that 25 million in off season. So these boys is hungry. You got Iguodala just waiting to jump in. He like, if y'all need me to dress, I'm ready.
Right.
Peyton supposed to be getting reevaluated to come back. So man, they just got too much, and I'm taking I'm gonna take I'm gonna take Golden State. I think it's going 6, maybe 5, but I'm gonna say Golden State. Golden State gonna walk away with this one, but it's gonna be great games.
What I'm interested to see, Coach Udoka, what adjustments he make because
That's a
you
good
know
point.
he comes from that same Spurs pedigree that Kerr studied. Coach
Right,
Kerr studied under uh,
Popovich.
Popovich, but also over there at the Bulls with
Phil,
Jackson.
yeah, Phil,
Yeah,
yeah,
but Udoka was under Popovich too for a while. So
right.
I'm interested, and he was playing when Curry was playing.
That's
So
true.
I'm interested to see if he's able to throw some things at Curry that will frustrate him. Having played against him before,
Right,
and then also having the same Popovich philosophies that Coach Kerr has. So
yeah.
it'll definitely be some chess moves being made.
It's gone. But man, I look at it like Tom Brady. It ain't a blitz in the world you can get that man ain't seen 100 times.
Right,
You just
right,
gotta, but don't the only difference with Brady is Brady don't play on the defensive end.
right,
Curry done seen every type of defense that you're gonna try to put him in, every type of trap, whatever. Curry done. He's so next level. Like to me, this win and then him getting a Finals MVP, in my opinion, puts him in the top 10 of all time. I don't know who you're gonna bump out, but
right.
Curry should definitely, if in my opinion, he should be in the top 10 ever to touch a basketball, but he should definitely be in in that top 12 to make the team. If you had a 12-man roster, 12 to 15-man roster on the basketball team of all time, if anybody touched the ball, Steph Curry should definitely be on that first team.
Right. You know, they give Curry a lot of slack. They hate on him about his defense, but he's given the effort.
He is.
You know what I'm
He
saying? So
tries.
it's like you can't hate on his defense because he wasn't blessed with the length that Antetokounmpo has,
Right.
or these players. Like, he's doing the best that he can for
Right.
his ability and his size and his quickness. Like, you know,
Right.
he doesn't have
And
the
he
quick.
effective. He gets steals. He make big plays.
Right,
He get big stops late in games. He'll get a big stop. I mean, he ain't gonna be Tony Allen or Pat Bev because that's what they do.
right,
But you know what I mean. But then he's still giving you 40 and 50, and then he's bought into the scheme of what they do, and then he's so easy to play with for you to shine with him. Wiggins having the best career of his year. I know Wiggins like I
right,
wish I would have been playing with you.
right. Yep. Sure is. And then, you know, he has to exert so much energy on the offensive end. You know, that's why they surround Curry with the players that they do have.
Yeah,
You know, because he runs off a lot of screens.
he
He's
do.
constantly moving, curling, and so that's a lot of energy that he's exerting on the offensive end. So, you know, but still, he never lacks effort on the defensive end. Whether he
Yeah.
gets beat or not, he's doing the best he can. He's in a stance, and he doesn't quit. So, you know, the hate that he gets, you know, because of his lack of length and athleticism, I don't really feel it's fair, because, you know,
Yeah.
everybody's not jumping out the gym like Ja Morant.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
No, you know, a lot of these dudes, you know, and I'll be watching Undisputed, but a lot of guys that first of all never really played and never really understand the science and and just the intricate importance of basketball and winning. Steph got all of that. Like the man was at Davidson with rec players in the Big Ten, dudes that play in the rec league, and took
right,
them to the Elite Eight. He took a bunch of Big Ten rec league players to the Elite Eight in the NCAA tournament. That right there to let you
right,
know how special this man is, and to be the first ever unanimous MVP. Like
right,
what this man do, what he does, and how he just transforms the game of basketball all together is, man, is he's amazing. And I, you know, these people that be looking for stories and looking for things to, you know, go against them, they do the same with LeBron too. They find every reason to say LeBron ain't this, ain't that, but what does it show? The man he's been to the finals 10 times. Like
right, right.
that's what they do though.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what they do, bro.
yeah,
Man, I'm
man.
about to let you get out of here, man. Hey, man, I appreciate your time.
Now, I
I know
appreciate
you're a
you,
busy man
man.
and you very important, but man, we definitely gonna invite you back to the locker room again.
Nah, man, it's a pleasure to be here. I'll come back anytime, bro. You know what I'm saying? Love is love, and
Yeah,
you know, I'm definitely gonna make that trip to the shop, man. I have an
come
uncle
through.
out there, so, you know, it's nothing to make that trip, and you know, we get the families together, bro. That
Yeah,
we can chop it up, and you know, talk in the locker room, man, about
yeah, for
basketball
sure,
stuff.
man. Absolutely, man. Peace, man. I'm gonna talk. Peace and love, King. I'll
All
see
right,
you,
bro.
bro.
All right, you too. Take care.
All right. So man, that's locker room talk. Today on the show we had Willie Deane, man. We talking all Big Ten performer, Big Ten lead scorer, Willie Deane, man. Tough player, Purdue University, man. I played against that man, and when I tell you, this dude put pressure on you, man. He was a bucket. He quick, everything, man. He could do it all. You know, just amazing to see him all these years later. In my mind, I still see the braids. I know he had the bucket Gucci hat on or whatever, but man, I still see that boy in that jersey giving people the flux. Um, hey man, whatever you do it to the best of your ability, and just always remember, there's always room for improvement. And the day you feel you can't get better, it's the day you're not living your life to the fullest. This is locker room talk. with Jitim Young. I'm your boy, Mr. Wildcat, Mr. Northwestern, Mr. Big Ten, Chicago Hall of Fame, Chicago legend. You know what I mean? Jitim Young, Lack, Delano's finest. Hey, make sure you tune in. Locker Room Talk with Jitim Young is on YouTube. And then follow me with my guys. Let's talk about it, Shot. Uch Lavar CL. Hey, follow us on Spotify, Patreon, YouTube, iHeartRadio, number one podcast in Chicago, urban Chicago, man. The streets is talking. Let's talk about it, Shy. We in the building. All right, until next time in the locker room. Peace.